My name is Sassy Mohen. My show is called How to Hack Birth Control. I'm the writer, director, producer, and editor. And a couple things inspired me to write it. Initially, I do a lot of social media commercials, and a lot of them are hacks and, like how to hack your brunch with this brand or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
And I just had this light bulb of how to hack birth control, where basically I would use all the techniques I use from like the commercials, to keep you engaged while you're scrolling, but use it to actually educate people and make them laugh. And then, the Trump administration definitely helped invigorate me to to
Oh,
make it.
yes.
And
Oh, yes.
yeah, and then Roe v. Wade got overturned this summer. I mean, it already been done and was already in the circuit, but I'm just I happy is the wrong word, but I can't think of a
Yeah.
better one right now, to that it's out right now, like to help
Grateful.
people know their options. Yeah, grateful. That's a better one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw it too, I was like, oh, she must have been starting this prior to Roe, but it's still good timing in terms of like
Yeah,
information.
for sure. Yeah, I was nervous too when we shot it right after the election, and one thing I was nervous about was like if the rules were going to change and how that would affect the dialogue of the script. But a friend of mine made this really good point, and she said that regardless, they should make it anyway, if anything, to show what the rules were if they were to be changed anyway. So
Yes.
yeah.
I don't even have adequate words, truly. I do not.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. But I mean, if anything, it's invigorating the base, which is really cool. What happened in Kansas, I honestly didn't expect.
No, me either.
Yeah,
Me either.
I had volunteered on the Prop 8 campaign here in California in 2008 to legalize gay marriage. And they did the same thing there, where a no was to legalize it and a yes was against it, and it failed. And so I was like, oh, this is going to happen again. And then I was like, oh, I guess people care. This is great.
Right. Like, yeah, Kansas is woke. Who
I
knew?
know. It was a complete surprise.
It was very lovely surprise, actually. And
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive. What was really sort of surreal about it was when Roe was overturned, I was at the Bentonville Film Festival in Arkansas, which is a big festival for women and minority filmmakers that champion those stories. And it had, a bunch of huge sponsors and stuff. And we were there at this like love fest of women and minority films. And then Roe got overturned. And I realized, I was like, wow, I'm in Arkansas where there's a trigger law in place, and that was really crazy. But even then, immediately, someone I was with had suggested that I should take this to colleges and speak after. And a long story short, I actually just got a speaking agent 2 weeks ago. And so now we're actually going to be doing that,
great.
where I'll get paid to bring this to schools and then talk after and have a Q&A and stuff. And I don't know if that actually even would have happened had Roe v. Wade not gotten overturned. And so that was also something I'm grateful to have happened, because I just like
Yeah.
it, you make something, and you're like, I have these opinions, and I really hope that other people do too. And, I live in Los Angeles, and everyone here is like liberal and celebrating every single progressive idea. And you're like, how is this going to play? And,
In
wherever,
Arkansas.
right,
Right.
in Arkansas or anything like that. And people have really started to come out, and like, I'm hearing feedback from women and men of all ages, like older women who this isn't even applicable to anymore. Just like, I am so happy that this exists. Like, I want to show this to my daughter or my friend's daughter, or,
Yes.
I wish I had this access when I was younger. And, even like when we were making it, people on set, some of the women were like, I didn't even know I could do this. Like, one of the crew members went and got the patch like from Planned Parenthood on a pay scale, because she was like, wow, I could do that. I was like, yeah, you can. And so it's really cool hearing those specific stories, because that makes me so happy, because that's one of the other reasons I made it. Is I have a friend who's much younger than me, and she ended up having to have an abortion. I didn't know about it while it was happening, and it literally happened because she didn't know her access to birth control, because she doesn't make a lot of money, and she was in an abusive and manipulative relationship, and she ended up getting pregnant, and she had to have an abortion. I mean, she was 23, making minimum wage and living with her
Right.
parents. And she told me about it afterwards, and I said to her, you can go to Planned Parenthood and show your pay scale and get whatever birth control for free or for extremely low price. And she didn't had no idea. And
I
so
didn't know that either,
yeah,
actually. So yeah.
I mean, these are things, I learned when I was broke in 23. So it's like, yeah, it just makes me really invigorated to bring that knowledge to other women and men, because I think that one of the things that the conservative agenda has done is made it so you think that this stuff is unobtainable, and
Right.
then there's all the stigma that comes along with it too, with like, oh, I have to talk to someone about sex. Are they going to judge me? Or like, am I going to judge myself? And, if we just address it head on, is just one of the first lines of the film is like, remember when you didn't fuck until marriage? Neither do we. Okay, now let's move on from that topic and talk
P.S.
about the
Neither do
facts of,
most
yeah,
human beings. Like that
yeah,
was all
right.
such a load of BS. Like the whole, if you're like everybody getting their like 23andMe test done, like clearly things were going on prior
Yeah,
to.
clearly we procreate as a human race and also have sex for fun. I think we've been doing it for like a 200,000 years or whatever.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just, it's really great to hear these reactions. And then of course, like the filmmaking aspect of it is, to be appreciated more as a filmmaker and a writer and an editor and stuff. And it's just been a very wild, exciting ride that I'm so thrilled to bring it to like the Astoria Film Festival. Like I was telling you, my dad was born and raised there, and I spent
Which is
many times.
crazy.
Yeah, I would go there with my grandma. Like I can't even remember the name of the bakery around the corner, but she'd always give me like $20 and be like,
Parisi.
I don't know, but like, and get the like rainbow cakes or
Yep.
whatever,
Yep.
and I just like go around and love the pastries and the food and the atmosphere and his stories and stuff. And so it's super cool to bring it to all sorts of festivals, especially this one.